All right, hello folks. Here we go again. Oh, I started this camera probably a little too prematurely because I don't have a bunch of my stuff out. Let's see. I got paint out. Where are my brushes? I painted yesterday with my art group, Sape Art. I guess I got a lot to share about that. And then I painted today with my same art group, different group of people though. Sorry about all the noise. I'm getting my paint and stuff out. Get my brushes. So let's see here. What do I want today? Let me get situated and then we can start chatting. So I need my new favorite brush. I need this new brush. I want some kind of flat. Because today we're going to add some color. So I got a few flats here. Let's see, there's a flat. We want two of each. So 2 flats and 2 filberts. Filbert. There's my second flat. I guess we could use one more filbert. Maybe this one. Let's do those. And we'll throw these out here as well. And I don't need this palette knife because I got this palette knife. But you know what I need to do? I dropped this brush on the ground today. And it's expensive and one of my favorite brushes for plein air. It's 1 inch thick. I don't know the best way to show you, but it's 1 inch thick. It's made by Trekell. Golden Talon. I think it's Taklon. Yeah, Golden Taklon. I think it's a full inch. I don't think there's a number on it. I think it's just a 1 inch brush. But anyways, I dropped it today and didn't realize it. And as I was walking out, the first step, I looked down and I stepped on my brush. I could have left it there. And for the rest of my life, I'd be like, where the heck did that 1 inch brush that I love go? I literally just destroyed my Gamsol in one brush cleaning. Not cool, but I know to get more. So we're gonna put that back in here in its holster. Take my little measuring stick back out. Although it's been too short lately. Alright, I think that's all we need out of here for now. Alright. Got a little mess going on the floor beside me here. What else do we need? We need a little bit of this. Over here for now. Glove on. Situated a little bit, and then I can get started talking. Although I've been following another dude that does this live stream. He's actually the inspiration for me doing the live stream. He doesn't do a lot of talking, and he is totally fine with it. Let me pull up who he is. So Scott Hebert Art is the person that got me going. He literally just paints or draws, and he replies back to comments in the live chat a little bit, but it's minimal. I hit him up with some questions earlier. I told him looking good. I told him that he inspired me to do my art every day, and I asked him a little bit about his pencil box, and he did not go into anything very deeply. Let me just say that. But nonetheless, keep doing what you're doing. Totally inspiring to me. I started doing this during COVID, and talking was kind of my way of socializing at the time, or one of my ways of socializing. So I kind of continued on that path. All right, so we got a couple of flats, like I said, and then let's do a couple of filberts. This was actually a pretty expensive brush that I got at Blick, I believe, up in the city. But it's gotten so fat that I don't really use it for anything but blending. So I'm going to put that over here. And then I've got these two. I think I told you guys this is my new favorite brush. I need to pull that off at some point. Not today. I don't have a knife or anything down here, but trying to take care of it. Turn that off a little bit. Turn this one off a little bit. This one here, I showed you guys before, but I ordered 5 of them. They're like $5 a piece. So it's a number 4 Simply Simmons round, and I think you can only get it. I try to get it at like eBay, and then I think even Amazon, and I couldn't find it on there, so I just ended up ordering it through Michaels. All right. Take a look here. Have some of my soda. Went to Chick-fil-A for dinner tonight. Me and the dog love their waffle fries. And I love their spicy chicken deluxe sandwich, although not very good for you. So let me bring up my reference image. Handy. There we go. Probably get rid of that. There she is. Hi, Allie. I'm just looking at basically what you guys see for the reference image. I'm just looking at it on my iPad. All right. So let's get started. I got quite a bit of paint out there. I could use some more transparent red oxide, but we're good for now. Oh, let's squeeze it out so we don't get lazy later. This is how I keep my paints. It really makes them look terrible. But I haven't found a good way to keep them yet. In 10 years. Let's see, this tube's almost dust. So let's get rid of it if we can. Yeah, but after rolling around in that bag for however long, there's like a layer of oil over all of these tubes. Maybe I'll look on Etsy or something and see if somebody's come up with a good way of a good system for managing the tubes of paint. My thing is I move my paint around so much, it's hard to keep 2 separate kits. So I basically just throw everything in my backpack, and then like if I'm painting for this. Is my head in the way? Yeah, it is in the way. So if I'm painting at my little easel in my house, I just take the stuff out of my backpack. But then on the weekends, and including Friday night, I usually paint. And just from those paints rolling around in that bag all the time, they get kind of mucky. All right. So I like to do the dark stuff first. Probably could go even darker. Maybe a little bit up here. Frame her face a little bit. Her eyebrows are so thin. That top right eyebrow is really thin. No shame, just an observation. All right, so this is going to be my dark brush. I'll use this blue one for my lighter brush. So again, transparent red oxide, ultramarine blue, and this is going to be my light pile, so we're going to get some white in there. Even more white. This is something new. I haven't painted a painting of anyone this light. They're usually got Rembrandt lighting. So we're gonna do, keep in mind that the head is like a sphere or an egg. So try to follow those rules. The highest light is here and down here. But yeah, it's kind of hard to... We're gonna still follow some rules to make, even though it's not like light lit from one side, although it is kind of lit from your chin, it's kind of lit in all kinds of weird places. Not traditional. The sun is definitely coming, whether it's the sun or my strobe, is coming from the right. So since we know that the right is going to be, except for the, where the shadows are created, the right is going to have the lighter parts, and the left is going to have the darker parts. But since we're in full sunlight, the tones, except for the shadows, are pretty similar. But we still, since this is the painting and not a photograph, we could still play with kind of the rules of, creating, a sphere. And so what I'm going to do is darken the edges, and I'm going to make the highlight here, but I'm going to treat this like a sphere, and the bulk of my darkness is going to be on the left side, and I'm going to keep working towards the light. So, not that this is a tutorial, but but say this is an egg or a sphere. The light is coming from here. Little arrow. So that is going to be the light side, right? So there'll be kind of a mid-tone, just like you were doing, you know, creating a sphere. Let's make that dark side darker. Right, so oh, you guys can't quite see that. Oh. Let's see if I can do this without breaking shit. There we go. So I was making a sphere on her neck there. So got kind of a middle value. And then a light value. And then usually a highlight. David Gray was watching, he would be laughing at me. He's the one that taught me how to make these spheres. But and then you can't forget about the cast shadow. Right, so same with the face, right? So in a flesh tone, this kind of area here is going to be the light part. Looks like her chin as well. And then this is going to be the dark part, even though that's may not be what we see in the picture. We're painters. We're not, in this case, we're not doing photography. We're painting a painting, and that means we get to play with some, we get to bend some rules. And it doesn't have to be that extreme, but it's just kind of weird if you don't make the face like a sphere or an egg, or I should just say spherical, I guess. And I'm trying not to be too fussy with this. Just trying to, again, cover the canvas. But I would also paint what you see too. Like I'm going to have a big bright spot here, right? And then I'm going to have a shadow where this hair comes down, right? So paint, be sure to paint what you see too. This is going to be a lot lighter. Even a little yellowy. I'm trying to just use one color, but it's obviously a little yellow in there. kind of the same. Even as I'm painting this and just trying to cover the panel, I'm thinking, you know, this is going to be too flat. We're going to definitely have to revisit this to sphere it up. Not too much of this right now, but I think a good goal for this session is to get her face covered, kind of create the mask of her face. I don't have to work tomorrow, so probably don't need to. Oh, I was gonna say, probably don't need to put a time limit on this, but I'm tired. I did paint. I painted for 3 hours today with my group, like I said earlier. And I painted last night to 9:30, 10 o'clock. So last night was portraiture. I was excited about the event, but not very many people showed up. We had a wonderful model, a wonderful Italian male model. Giuseppe is his name. That's about as Italian as it gets. I think even more Italian than like Mario or Luigi. I don't know any Giuseppes that aren't Italian. But a wonderful male model, and I met him through Bill Sarnoff's painting group. And during my sabbatical, I was painting as often as I could at Bill Sarnoff's group on Tuesdays. And I met Giuseppe there, who was Bill's model, and got his contact info, and had this event last night scheduled for months. And only 4 or 5 people showed up, which I don't care. I mean, I don't care if I just want to paint. So on one level, I don't care if it's just me and the model, but on the level of the model, I feel bad because I pay pretty good as far as art model goes. I definitely pay the expected rate. I don't try to undercut anybody. I basically just ask what their rate is, and with a few exceptions, the rate is always fine. I just look at it as I want to paint a certain model, and what would I be willing to collaborate with them? What would I be willing to pay? So, anyways, but I feel bad for the model because a lot of the money, in addition to the base rate that they make, especially like with Darren and Bill's groups, are from tips. They just get so many people, and the tips are so good. But my group is small, and it's small in general. It's small even on good nights, but almost nobody showed up last night. Even the model, it was me and another lady, Domenica. I'll probably talk about her a lot. She's one of my favorite artists and people. But it was me and Domenica, and the model showed up. Giuseppe showed up, and the first thing he said is like, "Are more people going to show up?" And unfortunately, not many people did. Some of my favorite people, Land showed up, and then Tanya showed up. So me as a human who likes to paint, I was pretty content with just those guys showing up, but having a little empathy for the model, I was kind of bummed for him that nobody showed up. And I'm not going to lie, it's definitely funner when there's a lot of people. If there isn't a lot of people, I feel like I got to do the host mode thing too much. I won't share that painting with you. My painting was terrible. And today, with the plein air group, we painted at a place called Sunol Regional Park. It's up kind of north of, I guess it's kind of about as north as Fremont, but off of 680. But it's a beautiful park, and it's green right now. Ooh, making her face soft. I should wipe off that sphere. Oh, and I'm going to rotate my camera back up too. Let me see if I can back it out a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that now. But yeah, let me wipe off that. Wipe off my sphere. Turn my hat around backwards too so I don't keep sticking it in the video. But yeah, Giuseppe is a really nice guy, and I thought he'd be mad or whatever. But as soon as the other thing too, I felt bad about is the guy come down from San Francisco. He took an Uber to the train station, the Caltrain station, took the Caltrain all the way down to Santa Clara, and then walked from the train station to the Triton Museum where I hosted. And so we basically went through all that trouble for. I think it's fun. I don't know because I'm not a model, but I think part of the reason that they do it is it's a fun kind of group setting, with a bunch of creative types. So I don't know. I think it was kind of a bummer for him to get there and realize that there's only 4 or 5 of us. But I had an email from him this morning asking if we'd be interested in having him back when he's back in the States in May. But it was nice. I hadn't seen Dominica in a while. And to be honest, I hadn't seen Tanya in a while too. It was nice seeing her. She seemed a little stressed out. She's went back to school. Sounds like the classes are, well, I don't know if it's the classes, but it sounds like it didn't sound like it was much fun. This usually takes me a while. A little bit of fussing. Some layers. Oh, I guess I've already cheated. I didn't do a live stream yesterday. So much for sharing something every day. But I'm not too torn up about it because I painted. If I didn't do the live stream and I didn't paint, then I would feel worse than I do. But I painted more yesterday than I had in any of the previous sharing sessions, so I'm not too. I'm taking a mulligan. I'm doing the best I can. I've definitely painted more days in a row than I ever have. And I plan on continuing. I have the week off. Just give me 1 second. Let's see. I'll be right back. Excuse me for 1 second. Unfortunately, I can't pause the live stream, but I'm going to mute you guys for a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. There's someone at the door, and then I had to take care of some dog stuff, which means get the dog a treat. And then that's about it. But anyway, sorry for the dead air. If you stream live, you can't pause. You can start and stop the stream, but we don't need to do all that. Yeah, so I don't know what it was. My painting was terrible. It's out in the garage, or I'd share it with you. I didn't even take a picture of it, which definitely means I didn't want to share it with anyone, or I would have taken a picture. The first time I painted them at Bill Sarnoff's session, I like that painting, except everybody says it looked like Jesus, but I guess it did look a little bit like Jesus. But he looks a little bit like Jesus, so I'm not the bad guy. My painting yesterday, he looked more like Jack Sparrow, or Johnny Depp's version of Jack Sparrow. So if I take a picture of it, I'll share it with you. So I have the picture of today's landscape painting though, but I wanted to talk about Portrait Night a little bit more first. Oh yeah, so Domenica was there. I don't know, I think we're all in love with Domenica. Males, females. She's something else. I was thinking about it today. She was nice enough to bring me a Christmas card. She always draws these wonderful Christmas cards. Draws or paints. I've got one for, I want to say, 3 years now. Maybe 4 years. And I'm not religious, and hers are always a religious theme, I guess, even just keeping with Christmas. But I love those. I have at least one on my refrigerator right now, and then I got this new one that's still on my kitchen table. But yeah, she's something else. She's let's see, what all did she instigate yesterday? So we talked about a million things art related. We're going up to the city as a group to check out the Monet exhibition. We're doing and I think this might have been Land's idea, but if it's successful, it'll be because Domenica had a part to play in it. But we're doing basically a book sharing kind of meetup where we're bringing all of our art books. I think Land suggested that. Land's got a bunch of art books, and I know Domenica has a bunch of art books because I've taken a workshop from her before. Let me just double check and make sure my audio is going. Yep, audio is good. So Lance suggested that. But I left the session last night thinking, yeah, if it happens, it happens. But first thing when I got cell reception today, there was a text from Domenica, a group text, basically suggesting some times and places. So, like I said, if it's successful, it'll be because of her doing, I imagine. And then Galen, another artist, she invites artists to paint at a Christmas creche that she holds at her church every year that I kind of forgotten about. And so she brought that up. Of course, she's like, paint on the day that I do it. And then I'm going to go back now and get Lan invited to it. I got to remember to send that email to Galen, but but I would argue if all of this stuff is successful, it will be because of Domenica. Oh, and then she did the Watts Atelier. So she did kind of an 8-day intensive and got me all spun up about that before I left for my plein air meetup this morning. I was on his website investigating that. So it's kind of funny how one person could stir up so much shit. But good shit. And Tanya was there, like I said. Tanya went back to school, grad school. I like her. She's got a cool husband. She's always seems kind of frustrated about her art, but she's got a cool personality. And I remember being very excited when I saw that she RSVP'd for the event. Just a cool person. These masks always look weird without the features. Like the eyes and the lips. I don't know why I always worry about clipping these eyebrows off. You kind of paint them back in so many times. There's nothing to worry about. I'm trying to go after that highlight color. Oh, I took my glove off. So much for just blocking this in. I guess I'm kind of stuck on. I think why I'm fussing is just because it's not. The light is falling a lot different than a traditional, like I said, a traditional like Rembrandt style lighting. basically dropped my brush in the most powerful color I got and in the ferrule. Rude. And I still haven't got my glove on. All right. Oh yeah, so today was plein air day. Let me take a second to talk about that. I don't mind sharing that picture with you guys. So on Saturdays, my group hosts plein air painting. I used to say I host plein air painting, but I've been getting a lot of help from from other members of the group. And so this was my painting for today. So this is basically, let's see, make it a little bit bigger. It's all right. When I think about it, I just think it's overworked. And the other hard part about it too is, so since I hosted today, I'm definitely in host mode, and then what I do is kind of down this horizontal pink line is a trail, and that trail kind of goes down to the river, and it goes through this tree tunnel that I love to paint. But since I'm the host, I want to be where people could see me, to make sure that they don't get lost because the park is pretty big. So I usually end up just painting in a spot where it's not my first choice, but it's like workable. And so the problem is I basically just painted kind of this backdrop of trees. I kind of like the way the light was coming through the limbs and stuff, and try to capture that a little bit. But drinking my soda. But for me, this is an example of one of my paintings when I have too much time and no focal point. I just kind of keep adding more paint and adding more detail, and I have no idea what the focal point is of this painting, which means that if I don't have any idea, then you probably don't either. The two trees in the center probably shouldn't be darker than the big one on the left behind the rocks, but it was kind of fun. I guess I still got to figure out how to make a pointer, but I guess if I shared my screen, can we do that really easy? Nah, you guys don't need to see all my bookmarks and shit, or all my open tabs and all the clutter on my desktop right now. I'll get that sorted out. There's a few things I need to get sorted out. But anyways, this was my painting for the day. We actually had probably closer to 10 people show up at Sunol. And again, some of my favorite people. Jesse was there. Jesse's kind of turned into a plein air regular. Jaladi was there. He's definitely a regular. We had two Susans that I like very much. One of the Susans is a host. Allison, who's a docent at a lot of parks. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a docent here as well. But Allison is wonderful for suggestions for locations and the places that she is a docent at. She's really knowledgeable and helpful, and helps post links and information about the venues, and then just super helpful about art in general. She's been doing it a long time, so most of these guys, if you want to know about the paper they use or the colors that they use, or pretty much anything to do with outdoor oil painting. They're all pretty knowledgeable. No beginners today. That's kind of a bummer. We got it's kind of old regulars, which I don't mind either, but it's kind of nice when we get new people. Divyani's I can't remember now. I'm gonna get in trouble. I think it's Divyani, not Divyana, but she's a regular. She wasn't there. And then Angie, I don't know what Angie RSVP'd this morning or late last night, and I was excited about seeing her because it's been a while. And she ended up changing her RSVP this morning to not coming. So hope everything's okay. Angie's an OG from way back. Angie's kind of probably one of the original members. I don't get to see her nearly enough anymore. I hope it was just family stuff and nothing too big of a deal. She couldn't make it. But yeah, good group. I was kind of surprised. The weather's been kind of cold. It's kind of cool that two of the people there, Susan and Jaladi, have been helping host. It's always nice when your hosts are regulars. You know what my group is missing, though, for plein air is oil painters. There's not enough dang oil painters. I'm like one of the only oil painters. I don't know how that changed. I don't like it. We need more oil painters in my group. I guess I'll take them. So Jessie paints in gouache, and she always makes these beautiful little postcard-sized paintings that are just, I don't know, they're precious. They're literally like, if you had the ability to paint a beautiful postcard, I think precious would be the goal, and they're definitely precious. Jaladi and Susan, they make these big watercolors, big watercolor paintings. And Susan, Jaladi's always been good. He what always catches my eye is he's one of the few of us who adds figures to his paintings. So a couple people here and there now and again, and he's getting so good at it. And I'm just scared to death of doing that. I always say, for me, that's the quickest way for me to wreck a good painting is to add a figure. Or attempt to add a figure. It's more like it. Someday. Kind of fuck that up. Wish I could Control Z that idea right there. Just trying to cover this canvas, or cover this panel. About every 10 paintings I paint on canvas, but for some reason I always call these canvases. Probably need to fix that though. I think it's because I watch so many tutorial videos, and that's what everybody calls them, as canvases, because they're actually painting on canvases. Way too early for shit like hair flourishes, but I've talked about it before, but I guess it's just what you're used to. I can't really be pulling the beginner card anymore, because I've had a Facebook post the other day that it was from one of my first portraits was 2020, and I've been telling everybody I've only been doing portraiture for 2 or 3 years, but by my math, 2020 is 5 years ago, going on 6. But portraiture is so much more stressful, especially when there's a live model, than plein air painting. Plein air, so literally that brush that I cleaned earlier, I put it back in the case, but that 1-inch brush, I do like 90% of my painting with that big fat 1-inch brush. And big flourishes, and well, that plein air painting that I was just showing you guys, I do. Well, I guess you just, gosh darn it, just got paint all over my laptop. A little carried away. But I guess I don't need to bring it back, but I can't help myself. But believe it or not, I said 90%. That's not true, I guess. It's more like 80%, probably 80-20 rule. But believe it or not, and this painting is it's pretty big. It's no, it's 11 by, I think it's 11 by 14, which is the same as this portrait. But pretty much the whole first 80% of it I do with the 1-inch brush. And then I go back with smaller brushes and do all this other scrubbing and making rocks and trees and in grass and stuff. But get rid of that again. But where I'm going with all this is it's so much more relaxing than portraiture. And yes, I've been doing it for... Well, there's no orange on my palette. Oh, I had a little placeholder for orange because I knew that I wasn't going to use it yesterday. But you know what I should have done is add something with an alkyd in it so that this would dry by tomorrow. Because I think I'm going to be painting 2-a-days while I'm on this break. But yeah, just so much more relaxing. This is relaxing because I'm basically just blocking in. There's nothing stressful about blocking in. Because I know this is the first of a lot of layers. And it's going to change a zillion times. I should be working on her face more though. But yeah, we're over an hour now. Man, I slept until 8 o'clock today. It's the first time since my sabbatical that I've slept in that late. I don't know why, but I scheduled a meetup today at 10 o'clock. And I think my body knew it because I literally slept right until 8 on the dot. And that's when my alarm went off. That's so crazy. My alarm usually goes off at like, I'm usually up at 5:30, but my alarm will go off at like 6:30, depending on what I got going on that day at work. And I don't know why. I think I was laying in, I must have done it like in the middle of the night, but I must have set my alarm to 8. Probably a good thing that I did too, because that is absolutely what woke me up. Such a good feeling. But painting and hosting is stressful. I remember I was pretty tired when I got home today. I'm tired now. I guess that's why I'm making excuses for why I'm going to end this stream pretty quickly. I love this picture of Allie. Can't wait to see how the painting turns out. Kind of clipped off of her. I'm going to clip off her neck. I don't think I'm going to have room for a necklace either, which is kind of a shame. I always paint portraits bigger on the canvas than I do than I mean to. Next. I don't want to mess with her neck now. What else? Maybe I'll chit chat with you guys a little bit more while I'm cleaning up. I think I'm done for this session. My back is sore. I'm getting tired again. So what's on the docket for tomorrow? I don't know. Monday Night Football. My Niners are playing at Monday Night Football tomorrow night. I gotta see who's watching that and try to crash something. It's also Thanksgiving week. I guess I talked about hosting a plein air event on Thanksgiving morning. Got to think about that a little bit, I suppose. Lan showed me yesterday that Richard Schmid, the Portraits and Figures book that I've been waiting on, has come out. And I guess it's been out for quite a while, so I need to get that in my shopping cart ASAP. Because that's got to be life-changing. Alla Prima was life-changing. I've got Richard Schmid's The Landscapes book, and it's pretty amazing, but I'm a lot more into his portraiture. I love his flowers too, but I really want to see this portraiture book. So get that coming. Let's see, where's the lid for my stuff? I don't need to pack up too much because I'm going to be back at it tomorrow. But no sense letting the paint dry out if I don't have to. Put that there and put that there. I want to do some shopping too. I definitely need a better camera for my Surface, because you guys are definitely getting a crappier product than what I've been seeing on YouTube. I think even if I use my iPhone, it would be better than this Logitech camera that I have. But I don't know what to get. GoPro. I guess I'm going to have to do some look and see what people recommend for like this Ecamm Live app that I use for streaming. I'm going to have to look and see if there's any reviews for cameras for live streaming. Take my glove off. All right, I guess that's it for this session. I owe you guys a makeup session, so there'll definitely be at least 1-2 a day coming up. And trust me, I say that I owe you guys a session, but I owe me a session. Even though I've been painting, I said that I was going to share every day. If I can't share, I should at least try to make redos or makeups. All right, I'm obviously tired. I'm rambling a little bit. So it's Saturday night. You guys have a wonderful Saturday night. I hope you're doing something that you love with the people that you love. All right, be good.